Remember in 2009 when Alabama was playing Florida in the SEC championship game? Florida was unbeaten. Bama was kind of on the come up. We didn't know with them yet, but everyone at the very least expected it to be a close game. And Alabama just goes in there and ransacks Florida. And you have that infamous picture of Tim Tebow crying with the SEC CBS scoreboard right above him. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because picture college football, the history of college football, like an entire history textbook, okay? And you're flipping from chapter to chapter. When you flip from the parody era of the 2000s to the Saban era of the 2010s, and you see the picture by the chapter name, that's the picture that you're going to see. I think what happened in Pasadena, California yesterday is one of those moments. Because Curt Cignetti is winning in a way that we have never, ever, ever seen before. And I'll tell you what I mean. So bear with me. Every single team since recruiting rankings have started has had 50% of its roster made up of 4 and 5 stars. Alabama had 64 4 and 5 stars on their team. You know how much Indiana had? 7. In the past, if teams like Indiana played against teams like Alabama, TCU, Georgia, 2022, for example, the Indianas of the world would have gotten demolished. But not yesterday. Which tells me we are in a different era of college football. So we have to ask, what on earth is Indiana doing in their talent evaluation? Because in the 100+ years of this great sport, no one has won like Indiana. Indiana's kind of winning like a college basketball team. Like Florida in basketball last year, they just pick Walter Clayton from Iona, Will Richard from Belmont, okay? Elijah Martin from Florida Atlantic, and find all these under-recruited names and develop them and put them in a system and win. But you could win like that in college basketball. No one wins like that in college football because you can stay for 3 years. So we have to ask the question, what is Indiana doing in their talent evaluation, and why hasn't the entire sport caught on yet? Like, I literally picture it like this. Everyone for years, for hundreds of years, has been playing checkers. And metaphorically, what I mean by that is the way to win in checkers is to get as many 4 and 5 star recruits as possible so that you have enough talent to win the national championship. Okay, some of these teams that have been able to develop players, TCU in 2022, like I said earlier, could get these guys, but the moment they played the more talented team, it was a rout. This Indiana team is basically like if you put a horse or a knight on the chessboard and you're like, wait, why is this knight moving not just diagonally, but he can hop one spot and one to the right and one to the left? This is unorthodox. I've never seen anyone on a checkerboard move like this before. We thought we could only move diagonally. And then you think, well, that's not going to work. No one's done it. It's not traditional. And then all of a sudden you look now and that knight is getting that entire board out. Okay? That knight is Curt Cignetti. And the checkerboard is the rest of college football right now. Curt Cignetti is playing chess while the entire sport for hundreds of years and to this day outside of him is playing checkers. Do we know how he's playing chess? We don't quite know yet. We don't know what this talent evaluation department of Indiana has over everyone else in the sport. But it's fascinating to me. Because, man, this wasn't just Indiana just squeaks by barely. This was an annihilation. And when you have a result like this, like a 38-3 ransacking that speaks as loudly as this does, you have no choice but to listen. And so what Indiana is doing right now is a fascinating case study. Like in military terms, to put it like this, Indiana was so far and away the better team than Alabama, Bama got destroyed in the trench warfare and hand-to-hand combat, right? 215 to 23 in rushing. So Bama said, well, I guess we got to get out the airplanes and see what we can attack through the air. Tried the passing game. That didn't work. And oh, by the way, Indiana had just 2 incompletions the entire game. And so Bama got beat in every single facet. Indiana is just the better team. And with 4 and 5 stars against 3 stars at best, in some cases, we've never seen that in this sport before. A result like this. So for Indiana, man, this wasn't just a close win. This was a statement that speaks volumes and that I think is changing the way people are going to try to win championships in college football forever. Because for the longest time, people have tried to play checkers, in other words, and get as many 4 and 5 stars as possible. But all of a sudden, you have this guy from Elon and James Madison who defies the ways of tradition and is winning by just getting these transfers. Fernando Mendoza from Cal, for example, that you just haven't quite heard of. And the sport's never seen it before. Like, this reminds me of the 1926 Rose Bowl, for example. Alabama-Washington, when they didn't think that Southern teams were of any chance to beat the Northern teams, and they let Alabama in, they upset Washington, and then all of a sudden, bam, changes college football forever, because now you've got Southern teams in the national championship mix. Sort of like Texas Western, right after the Civil Rights Act, when they start 5 all-black players, because those laws are completely reformed. Michigan State football could be put in there as well, and all of a sudden, that changes recruiting. Well, what if I told you that the best way to win isn't even high school recruiting at all anymore? That's what Indiana is doing to the sport, and it is drastically going to change it if this keeps up.